Hello, hello. Oh my gosh. Warm welcome, everyone, to our workshop. In case if you're wondering why you signed up for E.ON workshop, and it says Gridex here, you're definitely in the right spot. We are a subsidiary of E.ON, and they asked us to jump in. And of course, we're really happy to spend the next 45 minutes with you. My name is Pia. This is Emma, Antona, and Luisa. And yeah, as mentioned, we're happy to dive in with you today. So what's on today's agenda? We will just really quickly tell you who we are and why energy is super cool. Then, of course, you guys also have to work. So we have a little challenge prepared for you. And then you have really quickly and easy to present it, and we'll just wrap it up. Yeah, I don't know who already had a chance or ever heard of Gridex before. We started in 2016, and here we are building the IoT infrastructure for the energy transition. We have over 100,000 connected assets and are live in more than 15 countries. How are we doing this with like 200 amazing employees and 2 offices in Aachen and Munich? But before I keep continuing talking about amazing benefits and culture, we'll definitely need the next 40 minutes. So I'm just heading over to Emma, who will dive in the technical part of this.
Yes, thank you. So I will start with just a brief overview of Gridex and what we do. So what we do is we can connect different kind of assets. It can be EV chargers, batteries, inverters, heat pumps, and so on from different manufacturers. And then we use our local gateway together with our cloud solution to optimize this in different ways. We have also like different use cases for it. So for example, e-mobility, where you can have like a big charging site and we can have the solution to optimize the charging in the best way, or future energy home, which we'll dive into a bit more in a few slides, where we basically optimize the usage of these assets in the home, also in different ways. Or grid operations, for example, where we can receive a signal from the grid operator and then act accordingly and steer these assets. As you know, optimization can be done in many ways, and we will keep it short today and deep dive into one of the, or a few of the optimizations that we can do. So I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Emma. So here you can see our bread and butter, the Gridbox, which is this little piece of hardware that we manufacture in Aachen. So here, you're a homeowner, you have different energy resources, you want to be self-sufficient, so you have a PV, maybe a battery to store the energy that comes from it, and you have an electric vehicle with its charging station. The problem we often encounter is these different manufacturers, their different assets speak different languages, and you're going to have an app for your EV, an app for your solar system. It's just a bit of a mess. So the Gridbox can detect any of your appliances, connect to it, and that allows us to monitor what's going on in your system, but we can also then send commands to optimize with a simple rule-based algorithm. And the good thing about this is it has offline capabilities, so it doesn't matter if you're connected to the internet, you have low latency inputs, and we can maximize your self-sufficiency in a way that will also lower your bills. But the good thing is it doesn't have to stop here. So this logic can be aggregated to several homes. So here you can see the same thing copy-pasted very lazily by me. We have 4 homes with the same Gridbox, but we can use this local EMS and just do some cloud EMS. So by remotely sending commands and aggregating this logic. There are different use cases for this. One is called a virtual power plant. So we use the batteries of different homeowners, and combined together, they can be another actor on the grid and help balance when we need some more flexibility. You can use this. But another use case is something we call smart districts. So basically, using this energy algorithm, we can try to use this optimization at the scale of a whole neighborhood or maybe a small town. One use case could be, it's sunny outside, your neighbor is on holiday, but his PV is just producing a lot. You need energy, well, you're just going to borrow it from your neighbor. Otherwise, it would go to waste. You send it back to the grid, get a few pennies, but it's just not really worth it. It can be the opposite. Maybe it's a very cloudy day and the PVs aren't producing anything, and your neighbor is just turning on the heat because it's quite cold. Your battery is full. You know what, I'm a chill guy like that, I'm going to let you use my energy. So the idea is to just kind of use this at the scale of a bigger bigger scale, basically, of just a village or a community, and to kind of help each other out and use this renewable clean energy at the scale of a community. But of course, this is just one example. There's a lot of different ways that we can optimize. So here we're talking about self-sufficiency. You might want to say we can change consumer habits by talking to their wallet. So how can we optimize the price? Another issue we have, we implement in 15 countries. In the EU, there's no, universal legislation at the country level. So some countries have very outdated regulations, and they kind of prevent us from unlocking all the possibility of the renewables. So the green transition this is just one use case that we wanted to present to you guys, but there's like a lot of different things you want to optimize for. It can be carbon footprint reduction, it can be price reduction, it can be self-sufficiency and be independent from a grid which could be operated by foreign countries, and when in times of turmoil it might not be efficient. So with all this in mind, we'd like to have you guys think about how we can improve the green transition. And I'll hand over to Luisa, who will present the challenge.
Thanks. As Pias mentioned at the beginning, we are going to have one part that is more practical, that we want everyone to jump into it and work together. The main goal is to answer the question we have there, that is, what will be the most impactful tech-driven idea for the energy transition? So the idea is to work in groups of 5 people. We have some ideas there that you can make use of it between this energy efficiency, grid flexibility, sustainability, and so on. But if you have an idea as well, we will be open to listen up. The idea is to have a space that we can work together and bring ideas to work to answer this. You don't need to prepare any presentation. It's only about telling us what was the idea, keeping in mind the questions that we have there. What is your idea? What problem does this idea solve? And why do you believe that this is the most impact idea that we have? For that, we are going to have 15 minutes that you are going to work together. And then after that, each team will have 1 minute to present. The idea is only one person per team will come in front, will expose the idea. And after that, we are going to have a space that we are going to share about the ideas, or the ones that we like the most, and conclusions and questions about it.
So if you could just make groups of 5, and then we would start, you can start thinking about your solution.
It's also fine if you're 4 or 3 in a group as well, but around 5. And I start the time now, so everyone knows. 15 minutes. Can we mic for some time? Are they turned off? To walk around? Would you just turn off? Yeah. Yeah. Now you speak German too.
If we talk now? Oh, no. It's
Okay. My mic is on again. So, are you ready to present? Think so. Slowly but steady. Yeah. You ready as well? Oh, and there's my timer. 15 minutes. Great job. It was really fun to see all of you really get going on this topic, and heard some of your discussion, and I'm actually very excited to hear your thoughts. So let's start. Each group can have one person just come up. We have a mic. Is this on as well? Yes. Okay. No, I'm not going to do double miking. Yeah, and present your idea around 1 minute, and hopefully we'll have time for like a proper wrap up in the end. You want to start? Your group? Yeah. But that's it's a quick. I mean, you had 15 minutes, so that's all good. Stage is yours.
Let's start. So first of all, our solution is an add-on onto GridX amazing solution. We want to make GridX solution even more interesting for their customers. What we want to do is take your own price of your home battery and bring it along your way in Germany. So if you have an EV and charge it in Hamburg, but your home is in Munich, you can still charge it with your own electricity price from back home. And this enables you to have a lower price and makes electric mobility even more interesting. Oh,
you want the other question?
That would be amazing.
I can.
Thanks. That's the idea, and that's the problem we want to solve with our idea. And the most impact it has is that we can lower the electricity price of charging your electric vehicle and equalize the energy system, because in the same 15 minutes we buy the electricity price in Hamburg, we can discharge our home battery and import the same kilowatt hours into the grid. So grid is equalized in that case. That's our idea.
Perfect. Thank you. That was actually on the spot 1 minute, so that's also impressive. Next group, you want to go? Just going to not stand in the middle of everything as well.
All right. So with our thing, we thought about what's the biggest issue we're facing with energy today, and that's grid reliance, which is on point 2, grid flexibility and storage, because with renewables, we have a lot of peaks of production, and we have also asynchronously peaks of consumption. And our idea is a software in order to communalize energy consumption in a small level, which could be scaled to higher platforms. And our base idea is that we have our home station that you already have, and this monitors energy consumption in your home. And if you want to consume energy, it looks up the whole energy consumption of the community or the size you're speaking. This could be scaled to a nationwide size. But let's talk about one home. That the energy appliance, it gets used when the energy is cheap or the demand is low. So it washes your washing machine at night. We were talking with her, she said in Spain people already do it because energy is cheaper in the night. But to take out this step of human intervention, which of course is a great barrier to entry for everybody, because everybody likes to be convenient. Sorry, I'm taking too much time. This is basically our idea, and it solves the problem with modulating energy consumption, and it will have the most impact because it solves energy demand and supply through our whole system.
Amazing, thank you. Then we can take the group in the corner there. Also keeping track of the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. We actually identified 2 key problems. One of them is grid usage, and the second one is data. So everybody who lives in Germany knows maybe restrictive data policies. So we try to solve both problems at once. Basically, we want to sell our customers a product that is based on GridX, and we want to sell them cheaper energy in change for data. So they allow us to access their data. So we are getting the owners of the data to, in the future, train better models that allow, for example, better forecasting of their usage of energy. So we could, for example, buy cheaper energy at the wholesale market to allow a cheaper contract price for them.
Amazing. Also on the spot. Impressive. Thank you so much. And then the group next to there. Here you go.
Okay, so we actually, I know there's a lot of trends and there's a lot of challenges, but we actually thought, okay, if we want to electrify the market, which we need, if we want to electrify the mobility market, the heating market, we need more energy, right? We need more electricity. Question is, where is that electricity coming from? So the idea that we have is that in the next 10 years, it will become mandatory by German law to have solar panels on your roofs, on the roofs where it's efficient and useful. Some roofs, of course, don't make sense. If they face the north and the sun is not shining, it doesn't make sense to spend money to build a solar panel there, obviously. But make it mandatory for those roofs in Germany that have the efficiency usage and that are, well, just makes sense to have a solar panel on them. Install it there. Have it there so it can provide electricity and put it into the market or use it privately, whatever useful case you can, or the most efficient case for that. Of course, a lot of people are already doing it, but there is no law that says, okay, it's mandatory. And also if we say, okay, if there's a solar panel on the roof and maybe the homeowner doesn't want to invest in it, then who pays for it? The question is, yeah, who pays for it? The government, the homeowner, or maybe actually the grid operators, because they want more energy, they need it, so let them have it installed. Yeah, that's our idea. I know it isn't finalized, there will be a lot of other problems from that. But yeah, let's maybe think broadly. If we have a lot of solar panels installed on surface areas that are useful, just our roofs on the houses, we can create a lot of energy.
Amazing, thank you. And you really don't need to have a finalized proposition in 15 minutes. That would be too much to ask. Did we have one more group in the back?
Did we?
This is the last group, right? Then everyone has talked. Yes. There you go.
Thank you. So we were also talking about this thing of scaling and how to make network islands, yeah, so power network islands inside of private homes. Main problem what we have identified is that those people who have like PVs on the roofs and they have like home storages at home, they are normally not loaded over the whole of the day. So that means normally you get like sun during the day. That means at the end that you get the power during the day and you use it. And most of the homes who are completely like CO2 neutral, or try to be CO2 neutral, they have the problem that at the nighttime they have no storage or their storage is empty. Yeah? So combined with having dynamic pricing in the electricity market, the idea is to use your product, so GridX, to connect multiple homes together, make a prediction of how the usage of power will be in the next 1 or 2 days, depending on the weather and all that stuff, and then charging the home storages, for example, in the night times when the price is really cheap, combined with the knowledge about how the weather is being tomorrow. So that means when tomorrow it will be cloudy, you know there will be not much PV power and your storage is not being loaded. So the idea is then in the night before to load all the storages with cheap energy, decrease the pricing for the homeowners and make it cheaper to use energy, and also remove the higher power load from the network itself. So that will maybe help the network providers to not build too many new network connections between the different islands. And that's our idea.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, and thank all of you. It was so interesting. I'm really happy that we got some different perspectives. And me coming, so I worked with planning power grids for E.ON before, so I'm happy with a lot of you actually bringing up the grid perspective, because a lot of people miss that. That's an important part of energy as well. And also some legislation things that's also important. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Let's
thanks
wrap
a
it
lot,
up.
guys. Very interesting perspectives we heard. And also quite interesting to see that a lot of the ideas we heard are also things that we deal with every day. So a lot of you guys were concerned about pricing. And again, sometimes there are some legislative hurdles to overcome. But for example, in Sweden, we work with what we call time of use tariffs. So basically, the EU energy market publishes the schedule for the next day. So we know how much energy is going to cost every 15 minutes. And then we can optimize ahead of time for people when we should discharge or charge. And because, as you said, if we want to optimize basically the cost for the consumer, an algorithm is going to be much better rather than having to manually, oh yeah, I'm going to wash the machine at night. I use the washing machine at night. That works, but over time, things change, and we see sometimes the energy market is changing very rapidly. In summer, we've seen negative prices when there was too much PV production and not enough demand, right? In that case, well, you definitely don't want to be the one trying to save your energy, but you want to consume more. And yeah, basically also, I think Group 4 touched upon the idea of having more solar panels and trying to accommodate for more energy needs as the economy grows. That's definitely something we agree with. Basically, the future of energy is definitely decentralized, where we're all moving away from the central grid, and people realize we want cleaner energy and independence from the grid. And also wrapping up with Group 5, basically having these communities can be independent and live in self-sufficiency in terms of energy needs. Yeah, I hope the takeaway was kind of clear that the energy market is very complicated. I think a lot of you guys know way more than I do, because I'm just an engineer. But it is quite multifaceted, and it is, for us at least, the biggest challenge of our century. And it's not going to work with just one solution. Yeah, we have the grid box, that's cool, but we need the countries to lobby for better laws that allow us to enable this. We need cooperation between EU countries. We need infrastructure. The roofs, for example, as you mentioned, a lot of buildings are old, they're not south-facing, and even when they are, sometimes they're not strong enough to support the heavy PVs. So it's only through a joint effort that we'll be able to make it work. So yeah, thanks a lot, you guys. It's been super interesting. If you want to talk more about what we just discussed, or have any talks about GridX, what we do, we will be at the E.ON booth from 2 to 3 p.m. And before that, I think we'll just all grab a snack, because I think it's lunchtime, we're all pretty hungry. Yeah, so thanks a lot for attending, and maybe see you later.
Yeah, thank you so much.